Yo, what's good, my people? This is Tony from Rubix Cube Reviews, where things get realer than a Kanye interview. Today, we're diving back into the mind-bending world of Dark Matter, that sci-fi series on Apple TV+. The series is based on the mind-blowing book series by Blake Crouch. Now, he's the guy who wrote these thrillers in book form that got adapted to mind-bending perfection on Apple TV. If you'd like to read the book, I have a link to it in the description below. This episode is called The Box. And with good reason, as we finally get a good look at the box and learn exactly what it is and what it does. We open with Amanda, still clinging to the delusion that Jason's gonna waltz back in her life like nothing happened. Spoiler alert, Amanda learns that Daniela got smoked by a trigger-happy goon Dawn. Not the ideal way to start your day, which is a little, I don't know, you know what? I'm gonna STF you. I didn't want to touch on that. Let that stew for a while. Meanwhile, Jason, the real one, not the discount doppelganger, wakes up in a kinkier situation than a 50 Shades of Grey convention. Dude's handcuffed to a bed staring at the ceiling while Leighton paces like a caged tiger with a bad case of buyer's remorse. Leighton feels all sorts of guilty and does everything but punch air in frustration as Jason is still processing the trauma he just witnessed of Daniela taking a bullet to the head. We then switch to, Jason 2, living the dream life. Perfect wife, cute kid, zero existential dread. Dude's even got time for casual phone checks to make sure there's no chaos coming his way. Kind of like J. Cole over the last 3 weeks. His domestic bliss gets interrupted by Daniela's co-worker, Barbara, who drops by to remind Jason 2 about a house party he conveniently forgot about. We switch back to Velocity, where we come across a detective by the name of Mason, and she's sharper than a freshly sharpened pencil. She shows up to investigate Daniela's murder. Leighton sweats more than a rapper freestyling in front of Jay-Z as he tries to dodge questions about Jason and the shady things that are happening at Velocity. Detective Mason ain't buying Leighton's BS, especially since she knows that Jason was spotted at Daniela's art gallery the other day. Things get spicy when she asks if she can speak with Amanda. Speaking of spicy, Amanda confronts Leighton about the whole murder and lie situation, right? Turns out, hiring a social media star as your bodyguard, not the best idea for operational security. Leighton tries to play it cool, but Amanda's not having it. We then switch back to Jason 1, who's still tied up and face down in a bed in the other room, because that's not weird, and he screams at the camera that he's ready to talk now. Leighton and Amanda agree to play nice as long as Jason stops acting like a runaway hamster on a sugar rush. Jason agrees, and they walk him into the room that they were trying to show him last episode, and we finally get to see the box. Now, this is big because this box is everything, so pay close attention to this. Jason recognizes it and talks about how he tried to create a 1-inch version in the past. We also learn that this Jason, at some point in this past, was the recipient of the Pavio Award. They explain how the box blocks out everything from radio waves and signals to sound and vibration, allowing whatever is inside to be completely unobservable. Plot twist alert. Turns out 3 people went into the box with Jason 2, and only one person that they've seen crawl out was our boy Jason 1. We then switch to Jason 2 trying to buy his son's love with the shopping spree. Classic dad move, but hey, it works. Sometimes. He also takes a moment to creepily Google Blair Kaplan because apparently boundaries are a foreign concept in his reality. We then switch back to Jason 1. Now, this dude's knee-deep in research about his supposed life when Amanda walks in, ready to pepper him with 21 questions. Turns out that Amanda is the psychologist who trains people to go into the box, and also lives with Jason too. Awkward? Jason seems intrigued by Amanda, but also a little freaked out by the whole alternate reality thing. He starts questioning his own existence, which is a whole mood after finding out your life isn't what you thought it was. This whole conversation bothers Amanda deeply, and it seems Jason's existential crisis might be giving Amanda some suspicions about the Jason that she's talking to. We then switch back to Jason 2 at the house party. Now, this Jason plays the social butterfly, glad-handing people he doesn't know. He even runs into Ryan with his new girlfriend from the bar. Ryan is social and says hi to Daniela before apologizing to Jason again about overstepping boundaries in the first episode. But Ryan notices something is off about this Jason, like a bad Photoshop edit or an AI image. Things are just not right, and things are getting interesting. Back in interrogation land, Layton throws Jason 1 under the bus, accusing him of messing with their company and messing with their Jason. It's clear Amanda figured out that this isn't her Jason, and Ryan's even there to confirm it. Jason decides now is the perfect time to let out some pent-up frustration on Layton because apparently therapy isn't covered in the Velocity health plan. Cut to the house party where Jason 2 is doing a much better job of pretending he's someone he's not until Daniela puts him on the spot to try to remember something that only Jason 1 would know. And he starts sweating more than a contestant on Chopped. But Jason 2, he stayed up late last night and studied and was able to fake the funk. Ryan makes nice with Jason 2, but something seems off. Maybe it's like Ryan can smell the multiverse a mile away. Jason 2 tries to deflect suspicion by asking about Daniela, but Ryan seems to sense something's not right. This party's about to get more awkward than a family reunion with your ex there. We switch back and forth with Jason 1 getting his ass kicked by social media. Kind of like Drake after the Kendrick feud. Layton steps in just as Dawn is about to give Jason a prison-style makeover. Seriously, these people need to chill, but I wouldn't have minded one more scar to help tell the Jasons apart. Layton tries to appeal to Jason's good side, if he even has one at this point, to figure out how the box works. Jason, rightfully pissed off, gives a straight-up "I don't effing know" that leaves Layton fuming. Meanwhile, at the house party, doppelganger Jason makes a move on Daniela, who's channeling her inner April O'Neil with a Ninja Turtle vibe going on.
Excuse me?
I mean, who am I to judge her fashion choices? They share a slow dance with Jason 2 laying on the charm thick enough to spread on toast, and he does his best Riz. I mean, like, whew. He's laying it on thick. And word to the wise, fellas, always make your wife look good at a party. Thank me later. We then switch back to Jason 1 hanging out with Ryan 2 as they both realize that Ryan is now in his very own episode of
When Keeping It Real Goes Wrong.
Jason tells Ryan that there's levels to his fuckery and shares the news that Daniela is dead. Ryan feels guilty and Jason takes the blame. Ryan explains what he did to help Jason 1 by creating a drug that would alter the brain chemistry of the prefrontal cortex and put certain areas of it to sleep for an hour. Now, real quick, let's talk about the prefrontal cortex. Picture your brain as a bustling city with different areas handling specific tasks. The prefrontal cortex reigns supreme as the executive center, the CEO of your mental operations. This wrinkled region sits right behind your forehead and is responsible for a whole lot, like planning your grocery list, resisting the urge to eat the entire sleeve of cookies, and even controlling your social interactions. It's the voice of reason that whispers,
"Man, I wouldn't do that shit if I was you,"
when your emotions are running high. But the prefrontal cortex is still under development well into your 20s, which is why teenagers sometimes make questionable decisions, like that haircut. Anyway, Jason 1 and Ryan use their big brains to connect the dots and figure out how the box works. We then switch back to Jason 2, who is explaining to Daniela what happened after Ryan's party at the bar. Almost. He's telling it from Jason 1's perspective up until when he almost got hit by a cab, and uses all of this to continue to riz Daniela into giving him some. Meanwhile, we switch back to Jason 1, who is getting help from Amanda? I mean, he's getting help from Amanda. Yes. Finally. This dude is making some progress. Amanda explains that she's feeling guilty for her part in all of this and ends up bringing Jason to the box after it's discovered that she's helping him. They make a daring escape into the box, costing Dawn her fingers, and they make the decision that there's no going back. They inject themselves with some of Ryan's brain-altering chemicals before heading into the unknown. We then switch back to see Jason 2 studying and watching a time when Jason 1 was living his best life, sitting at home, playing Clue with his wife and son. And it's at this time that we see him going through old paperwork and discovering the kids' birth certificates and social security cards. Kids? Plural? Which is wild because we've only seen the Jasons interacting with his son Charlie, but here we're learning that there was actually another son born named Maximilian Dessen with the social security number 165181199, and he's Charlie's twin brother who was born at the John of God Hospital on October 7th, 2006. And aside from all of these interesting specifics, yeah, let's let that sink in that Jason had another son. We then see Jason and Amanda waking up in a hallway with a bunch of unidentifiable doors, looking confused and overwhelmed with a bunch of doors, like me on my first day of high school, and end credits. Whoa, hold on. Twin brother, into the box. Jason 2 not using condoms. This changes everything. Looks like I gotta dive back into the box with this episode for some more clues. Things are about to get even more exciting now that Jason 1 has entered the box, and I can't wait until you all get to see this next episode, because we are really getting into the multiverse of madness now. Anyway, until next time, this has been Tony from Rubik's Cube Reviews, reminding you to question your reality, especially if your wife suddenly knows how to play Clue like a champ. That's all I have for this one. I'm gonna check you all later. Peace.